So after a series of events, Charlie Disco died, but he was awoken by a mysterious disco skull by the name of Vice, and he didn't find out that all of your bandmates have become famous idols, but they literally sold their soul to this company by the name of Harmony in exchange for power, and now they have become very famous idols. Now it is up to you as Charlie Disco to fight your way into their lairs and to literally beat the synths back into them, get your band back together, and discover why the heck did you die and what actually happened that night that Charlie Disco died. The early access release of Dead as Disco, that's pretty much all the story that is present within this game so far. There'll be more story added in, but wanted to intro with that to kind of give you context of what the story actually is, because that's kind of what you're gonna get. You actually do have some voice acting in this game. There's actually some pretty good cutscenes. All of the idols that you'll be fighting, at least the ones that are present right now, have very distinct personalities and instruments. Discover who they are, who they were, and their relationship to Charlie. Kind of mixes in the mystery of what actually happened to Charlie on the night that he died. So it's fun to kind of interact with all the characters there, but man, this is a fun story and I'm enjoying my time so far. But the story is more of window dressing to the actual gameplay of what Dead as Disco has to offer, and this gameplay is amazing. This is one of my favorite games so far, even right now in its early access release state. This is a rhythm-based beat 'em up where every attack syncs to the beat, and unlike other rhythm-based games, kind of like a Hi-Fi Rush, you don't always have to perfectly time your attacks. It kind of automatically does it for you. The only thing that really is more context sensitive or more you have to time is things like dodges and counters, which has very nice hit effects on them and help increase your score as well. And it's really fun to just beat down people to various tracks that are really hype and amazing and so much fun. That's kind of more your basic attacks, but there are other things that are involved with this game. Some of the things that you did not get in the demo, but now the game is out and in the early access state, there's more content added in. So you do have this fever bar. Every time you do an attack will fill up, and it will allow you to do things like idle attacks. So you start off with your initial idle ability with Charlie himself, who's a drummer, and he basically uses all of his drumsticks to beat down enemies and gets you more hits, and it adds to the score. But as you beat more of the idols in the game, you get other abilities related to them. So kind of like Prophet, he has this arm shield, you're able to use that, or you can use chain lightning like Dex's ability. Kind of almost like Mega Man style, and kind of like Mega Man, you can also choose the levels and the bosses that you want to face. There's no really linear progression. It's just kind of go to any stage you want to, fight the bosses, and go through any songs you want to. So kind of Mega Man-esque in that sense. You can map forward at a time to any button presses that you want to, and it's really fun to kind of experiment and see what kind of abilities you have with all of them as you build up that fever meter bar. You will also increase a skull that will act as kind of a super takedown. So normally you get regular takedowns as you counter enemies. As you beat them down to minimal health, you will have the ability, if you press B on your controller, to take them down, but you'll do the button presses of Y and B to do this kind of super takedown. It kind of locks you into an animation. This is very useful against bosses because it does massive amounts of damage. So you want to fill this up as fast as possible as you're fighting down enemies, as you're dodging, as you're countering, as you're kind of seeking everything to the beat. There will be other abilities that you'll be able to unlock in a skill tree, like throwing a drumstick, increasing health, increasing the fever bar, and increasing the effectiveness of the other idle abilities that you will get later on. So it's really important that you get the best score possible. The points are actually points, they're actually fans, and so with the amount of fan points that you have, you can spend those on abilities or different cosmetics within the game itself. And that leads me kind of the main hub that you'll be in, which is the Encore bar, which will house everything that you will need. As you beat all the idols, they will show up in various spots and you can actually have conversations with them. And there's also some side quests involved with the bosses that you beat. It gives you an extra level of replayability in the game because you'll have to go back into the certain levels and collect something that you maybe missed in a certain section of that level to bring back to the person that you're talking to in order to kind of increase the story. It's not that much. The story kind of stalls out for now as you get more things involved with the people, but it does help with the replayability of those specific levels. There's also cosmetics you can add into the bar itself. You can clean up the bar, make it a little bit nicer, add in more records to the jukebox, and also customize Charlie himself to make him look cool. All of the cosmetics so far, they're kind of locked, and so there's more cosmetics that are come down later on the pipe, but there is the ability to customize your appearance as well. Now, apart from the main boss levels that you'll go to, there's also the Infinite Disco, which which is kind of like, if you're a DMC fan, Devil May Cry fan, it's kind of like a Bloody Palace. It's a series of challenges set to different tracks. There's two modes. There's a challenge mode, which gives you a certain amount of things that you have to accomplish within that level, like getting a certain amount of attacks or dodging a certain amount of times or completing the song within the recommended time that it's telling you to. Or you can also go into more of a free play mode where you just choose a track, you kind of practice all of your abilities and kind of get the best score possible. Each challenge section though does rank you by a certain amount of stars, which will help then unlock cosmetics for the bar. They'll also help you unlock songs in the song list that will help you do more challenges later on. But the really cool thing about this is that you can actually add in your own music. I have done this already, but my music doesn't really fit the vibe of this. They do recommend that songs that you do put in kind of fit the BPM of 120 beats per minute, but you can also customize the way that the beats sync to the tempo. But to get the best kind of song possible for this game, you want to kind of keep music around 120 BPM. And I love this feature so far, and there's leaderboards for every single song, so you're trying to just get the best score possible and try to beat your friends list or trying to top the leaderboards globally. So I can't wait to see what kind of scores people get and how perfect they can make this thing. So this is a lot of fun. I am enjoying this game so much. I do have some feedback for the devs as I've been playing this version of the game over the past week or so. If I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, I was offered a review key for this game to be able to talk about it more in context. So I've had more full access to the game as it's been out for the last week or so. So shout out to the devs for that. So I really appreciate that as well. But the feedback I have so far is that even though there's a good amount of replayability with this game, there's a little bit of jank. There's a little bit of things I think that need to be changed. The first off is that sometimes there's no invincibility frames when I'm in an animation. Sometimes when you get caught in a takedown animation or when you're countering somebody, there will be attacks that will go off in the background and you'll get hit, but you can't really do anything because you're stuck in an animation. Sometimes you can kind of cancel out of countering somebody, or if you're in the middle of an attack or a kind of mini takedown, you can kind of dodge out of that if you need to. But if you're in like the big takedown, like the super takedown where you're having to do 2 button presses if you fall off that skull, like I talked about earlier, if you're in that animation, you can't do anything about it, and maybe someone's running up to you or you're getting attacked by a laser because there are robots that will shoot lasers at you. Sometimes you will get hit. It didn't happen to me a lot, but I did notice that a few times, and I'm like, I wish there was more invincibility frames in those animations when I'm locked in. So hopefully, if more people are experiencing that, hopefully that feedback will get back to the devs and be able to change that, or maybe add in some more iframes to help out with that part. There's felt like there was a little bit of delay, especially when you're doing your dodges that can lead into a run. This is more present in the Aurora fight when you're shooting off from meteors, and sometimes I just wouldn't be able to get out of the meteors in time even though I'm pressing the button at the same amount of time. And maybe that's just me, maybe that's my input delay on my controller, but maybe if you're someone who's experienced that as well, maybe a little bit of input delay in your gameplay, that could be a thing, and maybe that was just me. But if that is a thing, that is a point of feedback that I will point out, and maybe that's just a nitpick, and hopefully that changes in the future. But I can't wait to see more of the content that adds in, and I would love to have a community feature where people can add in other songs. So you can add in your own songs, but I don't think at this point in time you can see what other songs people have added in, and maybe that's more of like a licensing thing, or people don't want to see other people's songs yet. But maybe hopefully there's some sort of community feature that you can add in. You can kind of share the songs that you have imported into your own playlist and then kind of share that with the community. Hopefully that's something that will be added in later on. Something that I hope is added in, but something that people have already been doing, is full costume mods. You got to check out this YouTuber. I'm linking him down in the description. He basically has been doing this for the demo for, I don't know, ever since the demo was announced. His name is Henry McIlvaney. Actually, the tag is like Sir Poke. Subscribe to that channel or check that out. He does some really cool things based on some Nexus mods that have come out for Dead Disco, the demo version. So I'm sure there'll be more added in as we get more into the early access version. There's some really cool videos that he's done so far. A couple of Michael Jackson videos that have popped off recently, and they've been so much fun, especially the Smooth Criminal one. So hopefully the devs take notice of that and they add stuff like that in. So not just basic cosmetics like a new jacket or a new hairstyle or some glasses, maybe like full costume mods where you can get actual artist renditions and basically be able to use those songs. But again, that's like probably a huge nightmare when it comes to licensing. Hopefully copywriting doesn't like go too crazy on this game. So I don't know if that's a thing that the devs thought of when it comes to mods or things like that. Maybe that's something that they have thought of, and maybe that's something that they won't add in. But overall, I am loving the heck out of Dead Disco. It is so much fun. It has the potential to be an amazing game when this goes out in 1.0. know. So I can't wait to see where this lies. So far, there's no official roadmap that has been released at the time of this recording, at least, but I'm looking forward to more of the story, getting more of the bosses, because there's some levels that have not been opened up yet. So hopefully we'll get that later on in the future, maybe in future updates. I don't know how long it's going to take for these updates to roll out. There's also a co-op feature that is there, but it's not unlocked as of right now, and maybe that'll be the first thing that'll go. So I can't wait to see what the co-op looks like. More cosmetics, more music, more tracks. If you're someone who's going to stream this game, there is going to be a streamer safe mode that you can use, because you don't want to get copyright struck for this game. You want to be able to use the music in the game. There was going to be soundtrack, there's going to be a full streamer mode enabled, so there's more stuff coming out. I can see a lot of the suite of content coming out, and I'm so excited to see where Dead as Disco lies. Hope you watching this video have already wishlisted this game. I think they said they've had over 100,000 wishlists, so and hopefully this is translated into actual sales and people that are buying it and playing it and sharing feedback, because the more feedback that these devs get, the better they can make this game, and I can't wait to see how far Dead as Disco goes. Let me know in the comments if you're playing Dead as Disco. I'm going to end my time here, but at the end of this video, I'm going to show off a couple clips of some of the boss fights to kind of give you a sense of what this game is like, to kind of just more hype up this game more and kind of show you what all this game has to offer. But thank you so much for watching. My name is Chike, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.
I'ma go that far, I'ma take it that far, never gonna send it 2 ways, it's a one-way trip. Killer boy zip, set up on the back in 06, killer boy shit, man in the crib. Hey, yo, tell me I'm a just another product of the system that is looking and they're taking on the medic, they will listen to him, certain I'm a killer man, I just might kill a man. Got you in the scope, but I might just kill you, man. Maybe I'm a product of his dancing, or down the city, killer boy, stop me, get your